it's not easy na automatically tag natin, ikaw kasi may kasalanan, president ka. How can we prove nga? 'Di ba? So that's why ang sinasabi ko sa mga write-up ko na Aimee is actually holding the key now. Hindi siya takot maguruguri, kapatid siya. 'Di ba? Alangan naman alangan naman gurugurin siya ng ano niya, sarili niyang family. So may nasa strategic position siya ngayon. At the same time, siya yung head ng foreign relations, 'di ba? Ano yung sa elections na committee ng Senate. So grabe, nasa kanya talaga lahat yung control and yung parang bala natin. So kung ako nga, for example, if I'm a lawyer, tapos I'm part of the defense team of PRRD, yung mga nag-transpire during the Senate hearing, I will use those as materials for me to build up the cases that I will file against Torre, I will file against Marbil, and everyone who is involved with that unlawful arrest of PRRD. Kaya sinasabi ko, it's Aimee who made all these things happen. That's why we should help her out.
So even yung Duterte, nobody's questioning the Duterte. Ang dami nagsasabi, Duterte plus 2. Totoo naman yun. So it's Duterte plus yung apat, you can consider anybody of those. Hindi nagsasalungatan yung mag-ama. Hindi sinabi ni PRD, wag niyong iboto yung mga inendorso ni Inday. Wala siyang specifics na ganyan. And as a lawyer, he would be specific. In other words, ang tingin ko is he's just adding to the pool that you can consider for the plus 2. Wala siyang, in VP Inday's case, hindi rin niya sinabing, wag niyong pansinin yung sinabi ng tatay ko. She could actually say that the problem is he's isolated, he doesn't know the reality on the ground, chuchu ganyan. Wala. So there's a pool of candidates dito sa sa plus 2. Now, I think this is another thing dito sa pina-flash ko, we have to address, is that people seem to think that if we discuss something, we are not letting people decide. Sabi ni Intentional Life, I think what you have to do is let people decide. How can we actually even force them to do something they don't want to do? We are simply discussing here. I do not understand why you think that there is any compulsion simply because nag-uusap kaming tatlo dito. Actually, this is a conversation between myself, Joey, and Tio, and anybody else who wants to ask questions.
So parang, I mean, sa akin, what makes the situation of Aimee Marcos na sobrang special, na alam niya lahat ng gagawin ng kapatid niya. So parang give us something. And I'm willing to listen. Walang problema. I'm willing to listen.
Tio, weigh in naman.
Ayan. Ikaw na, contestant number.
Yeah, sorry. Nag-dinner ako galing kanina. So, na-late ako.
Nag-date
yes,
ka kasi.
Sunday kasi, charot, family time, baby time. Charot. Anyway, yeah, I agree because ako, when I started posting about Aimee and Camille, automatically the tags, the labels that you guys are getting, like double agent, bayaran ni ano, mga ganyan-ganyan, the same labels and tagging that I'm getting from these people. Tapos, yes, tama si Joey that whenever you ask them about something na, what exactly is the reason why you're hating Aimee, it's because the family name, the surname. So, ang hindi nila naintindihan is yung fact na sa family talaga may mga swail, that's swail yung sa Tagalog, di ba? And may mga may tama at may mga tama para ganyan. So may mga ganyan talaga, di ba? It's not it doesn't always follow na if you are part of a certain family, pareho kayo ng pinaglalaban, pareho kayo ng mindset and everything. Kasi nga I have this I knew a family of lawyers. Silang lahat actually nag-viral pa sila kasi family of lawyers talaga sila. The father is actively defending the Dutertes. The daughter, the other daughter, actually is one of those lawyers who filed a petition in the Supreme Court about sa impeachment ni VP Sara, saying na it's constitutionally infirm and yung lahat ng mga reasons about it. Tapos the other daughter, yung viral sa TikTok, ang sinasabi niya, I'm sorry, I don't share the same politics with my father and my sister, but I'm a kakamping, sabi niya. So doon ko nakita na grabe yung dynamics ng family. Even if pareho sila ng surname, iba-iba sila ng family, iba-iba sila ng belief, political belief, and the way they see things out. So yan din yung masasabi ko na I'm not defending Aimee Marcos as who she is kasi hindi naman talaga kami close. Ang nakikita ko lang is yung contributions niya sa current political landscape. Because if you look at it, most of the major scandals the country faces today, it was Aimee who exposed it. And this is something na hindi matanggap ng ibang tao kasi nga Marcos si Aimee. Let's talk about the kidnapping. 'Di ba? It was Aimee. Grabe, sabi pa niya, Aimee, bakit hindi natin yan nakukuha yung mga tao? Let's talk about yung sa rice, 'di ba? Yung nag-hoard ng rice, ganyan yung mga cartels, mga ganyan. It was Aimee na sinabi din ni Aimee na bakit tayo nagkaganito? Bakit carefree silang lumalabas? Walang ano. Because she can only do much, di ba? Kasi nga, senator lang siya, more on the legislation side, investigation, inquiry in aid of legislation, investigations, ganyan lang. Pero when it comes to enforcement, ibang usapan. About sa ICC arrest ni PRRD, ito yung pina-for me, ha? This is the reason why masasabi ko talaga na Amy is doing a great job as a senator. And yeah, as a senator. This is because during the ICC arrest of PRRD, pwede kasi dapat manahimik na lang si Amy and let everything happen the way that it's happening, right? Ganyan. Pero Amy chose to face the giants. Yung lahat ng tinira niya lahat,
Risk.
DOJ.
Ano doon, ang bongga doon, ang na-appreciate ko doon, she took risk kasi nga yung hearing ni Amy sa kidnapping ni PRRD. I'm pretty sure ang tawag dito, sabi ko nga I have to watch the hearing twice, yung 'di ba, 3 session siya, yung first, yung second, yung walang nag-attend, tapos yung third. Oo, yung third na nag-attend na sila. I have to watch the hearing twice, nung 3 na yon. Kasi medyo late ko na na-realize na si Amy, she went in that hearing na alam niya na yung kapatid niya ang ultimately, knowing na yung kapatid niya yung ultimately na tatamaan ng hearing na yon. Kasi yung unang criticism dun sa hearing ni Amy, ang sinasabi, bakit hindi man madikdik ni Amy, hindi niya mabanggit yung pangalan ng kapatid niya, ineme, ganyan. And then I do not know if kilala niyo si Attorney Neil Abayon. Nag-ano yun nagko-content siya, pero wala siyang politics, yung legal concepts lang talaga yung legal concepts lang talaga yung kino-content niya. And then I was reminded of the doctrine of political agency na actually doctrine of qualified political agency. I was reminded of the doctrine of qualified political agency. And I'm pretty sure, alam yun ni Amy na nung pumasok siya ng hearing na yon, ang presumption is that yung kapatid niya talaga ang may kasalanan at nag-utos. There is no other way around it. Yun yung presumption. So ibig sabihin, kung kunwari walang nangyari doon sa hearing ni Amy, walang nakembot doon. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga taong nandun, mga cabinet secretary, lahat ng nakausap ni BBM pertaining to the kidnapping of PRRD, it is under BBM's account, undoubtedly. And kung kunwari naman na merong ibang mga tao na nakisawsaw at nakialam, okay, hindi pa rin nun mabubura yung participation ni Bongbong. Hindi pa rin mabubura. Kasi the only way for Bongbong Marcos to relieve himself dun sa responsibility ng kidnapping is for him to repudiate yung ginawa ng mga cabinet officials niya,
Ito yung latest, sabi ng The Freeman, nakalagay dito na nag-press conference si Sen Amy. At sinabi niya na part ng yung kidnapping ni PRD is a whole of government approach. So, it's
correct.
Yun yung para din sa mga nagsasabi na sa kapatid niya.
Ang sa akin din kasi, Miss Joey, Attorney Trixie, is yung fact na, alam na natin, I personally believe na hindi inosente si Bongbong sa kidnapping, sa illegal, unlawful arrest of PRRD. Hindi, alam ko yan. Pero the thing is, how can we file a case nga against him and the people who helped him execute the job if there is no investigation that has taken place? Di ba? Wala tayong alam So, it's not easy na automatically tag natin, ikaw kasi may kasalanan, president ka. How can we prove nga? Diba? So that's why, ang sinasabi ko sa mga write-up ko, na Amy is actually holding the key now. Hindi siya takot mag-guruguri, kapatid siya. Diba? Alangan naman gurugurin siya ng sarili niyang family. So nasa strategic position siya ngayon. At the same time, siya yung head ng foreign relations, diba? Yung sa elections na committee ng Senate. So grabe, nasa kanya talaga lahat yung control. And yung parang bala natin. So kung ako nga, for example, if I'm a lawyer, tapos I'm part of the defense team of PRRD, yung mga nag-transpire during the Senate hearing, I will use those as materials for me to build up the cases that I will file against Torre, I will file against Marbil, and everyone who is involved with that unlawful arrest of PRRD. Kaya sinasabi ko, it's Amy who made all these things happen. That's why we should help her out. Now, if by bad chance in the future, hindi yan babaliktad si Amy, hindi niya gagawin yung niya, it's a political suicide on her political career. Kasi nga, 'di ba? We gave you another chance, Amy, because with the thought na you are a good Marcos. It's just that your last name is Marcos. So now, ganito ginawa mo sa amin, so no more. So that's never again, parang ganyan. Pero ngayon, let's give her a chance. Sorry. Kasi nga she's doing a great job sa investigation.
So yeah, I'd like to point out something. That in 2022, Inday Sara endorsed more than 14 candidates for senator. Naalala niyo to?
Mm-mm.
More than 14. Parang umabot yata ng 19 lang tinaas na yung kamay. So, kumbaga, with the two Dutertes endorsing, actually lumalabas na 14.
Mm-mm.
Because PRD, in effect, has endorsed 13.
Mm-mm.
Si VP Inday, 12. So, kumbaga, there is no cut-off.
Mm-mm.
So, even yung Duterte, nobody's questioning the Duterte. Ang dami nagsasabi, Duterte plus 2. Totoo naman yun. So, it's Duterte plus yung apat, you can consider anybody of those. Hindi nagsasalungatan yung mag-ama. Hindi sinabi ni PRD, wag niyong iboto yung mga inendorso ni Inday. Wala siyang specifics na ganyan. And as a lawyer, he would be specific. In other words, ang tingin ko is he's just adding to the pool that you can consider for the plus 2. Wala siyang, in VP Inday's case, hindi rin niya sinabing, wag niyong pansinin yung sinabi ng tatay ko. She could actually say that the problem is he's isolated, he doesn't know the reality on the ground, chuchu, ganyan. Wala. So there's a pool of candidates dito sa sa plus 2. Now, I think this is another thing dito sa pina-flash ko, we have to address, is that people seem to think that if we discuss something, we are not letting people decide. Sabi ni Intentional Life, I think what you have to do is let people decide. How can we actually even force them to do something they don't want to do? We are simply discussing here. I do not understand why you think that there is any compulsion simply because nag-uusap kaming tatlo dito. Actually, this is a conversation between myself, Joey, and Tio, and anybody else who wants to ask questions. But you seem to think is that when we make arguments like this in public, pinipilit namin kayo. I think what you are feeling here right now is helplessness in the face of some of the logic that is being said here. The logic and the evidence. Yun lang, wag naman po kayo, don't feel attacked because you
Yeah. Sorry if I may interrupt, Attorney Trixie.
Go.
Joey actually is, sorry Joey hindi ako sure, pero I think she has not written or even talked about Camille Villar, all the good things about Camille Villar, but I am talking about Camille Villar.
Okay.
You see, because yung point ko, iba yung point ko sa kay Joey. Alam ni Joey yung problem sa Prime Water and everything. I have no idea about the Prime Water. What I knew about is the tactical alliance that we can create with the Villars in the upcoming elections, presidential elections 2028. So, yung mga arguments ko sa mga sinulat ko, like in 2016, 'di ba, nag-zero ng field sa presidency ang party ni Manny Villar because they are in full support of Duterte. So, sabi ko, so if there's a way for us to have a tactical alliance with the Villars, it would be easier kasi ngayon, di ba, halos nabayaran na. Di ba ngayon, halos kakampi na ng sa kabila. Na biglang naglakas CMD na lahat, nawala na yung mga taga-PDP, may taga-PDP pa, known PDP, members na lumipat. Kasi nga, lakas CMD, ganyan-ganyan. So what if we ally with Villars? Alam ko na sa alyansa nga, kaya tinawag ng alyansa kasi nandun yung party mates ni Villar, yung NP sila, di ba, Nationalista Party. Pero ang point ko nga, the fact na VP Sara endorsed Camille means to say that there are conversations we ordinary people, we dissenters did not hear. And there are negotiations that are not meant for public consumption. So yan yung sinasabi ko sa kanila. So yun, dapat intindihin natin na kung i-compare natin how ang deal when it comes to PRRD and to VP Sara. This is only my opinion ha. I mean it's not to impose my opinion to all of you sa mga nakikinig, nanonood sa atin. Ang sa akin kasi I love the father. I love Tatay Digong. But now, I think we should be protecting more VP Sara because siya yung nasa linya eh. PRRD, for example, after the ICC case, wala na, okay na. Sa Davao, for sure, panalo siya kung hindi dadayain. Walang problem. Yun lang, yung mga political harassments na lang yung harapin niya. But with VP Sara, impeachment case, disbarment case, cases filed in the petitions filed against her in the Supreme Court. So sabi ko, alam ni VP Sara yung ginagawa niya. She knows how to navigate her political career. So we should trust her now more than ever. Ikaw yung nasa ikaw yung nasa nasa line of fire ka ngayon tapos bigla mong i-endorse ang presidential sister, bigla mong i-endorse ang one of Alianza members, Camille Villar. So there must be really something behind that all of us did not see or did not realize that VP Sara has realized. So yan yung point ko. That's why I'm talking about Camille and Amy.
And ako isa sa mga pinaka I do not like Camille Villar kasi nga dahil nga dun sa Prime Water. pero ang tawag dito, I understand that the Villars have machinery. They have
wait. This might be important in the discussion. In 2022, Cynthia Villar supported VP Inday. As in, she supported part of the yung campaign logistics and all that. The Villars were a significant portion of that. So,
Also,
And yun yung
in
ano,
20, sandali lang ha. In 2016 until 2022, hanggang tumakbo ng Senator si Mark Villar, gamit niya the Dutertes. So,
smart.
dapat na-realize na yan ng mga tao ngayon. Go, Joey.
Yeah, I think yun nga, no, kumbaga parang ang ano dyan, this is Inday pushing back eh. Ito yung Inday na sumisipa. Kasi di ba yung dati nga nababad trip kayo kay Inday kasi parang feeling ng mga tao ang arbitrary ni Inday, parang hindi naman niya gustong magpresidente and things like that, ganyan. But now it's a different it's a different scenario altogether. Sumisipa si Inday. Lahat ng mga nang-api sa kanya, iniisa-isa niya, pinupuntahan niya. I mean, dumidiskarte si Inday. Siya yung nakaharap, siya yung nasa frontline, siya yung may pinakamaraming risk na kinakaharap. Okay? And therefore, I am going to give that space for her para dumiskarte in order to be successful kung ano yung goal niya. So kaya sabi ko ako, hindi ko feel si Camille, pero kasi nakikita si Inday na value eh. Meron siyang ano eh. So I'm giving her that space. I'm giving her that space na mag-isip. I'm giving her that space na dumiskarte. At saka, kasi ang pamantayan ko talaga sa buhay is that when you are going to stand by something, maniniwala yung sincerity, kasi hindi naman natin talaga malalaman kung gaano ka-sincere ang isang tao eh.
Tama.
Ay, yung parang yung mga etos-etos na yung mga etos-etos, sorry ha, this is one thing na yung kinikriticize ko din dun sa mga nagko-comment na, hindi naman yung sincere si Amy, hindi naman yung sincere si ganito, hindi naman, you do not know for sure. We will never know who's sincere and who's not sincere. Okay? So parang tigil-tigilan natin yung illusion natin na kaya yung i-determine ang isang tao whether sincere siya o hindi. You can't.
Yes.
Okay?
I like,
what we can see, wait lang Tia. But what we can see and what is visible to the naked eye are the risk a person is taking whenever they take a stand. Because yun yung direct equivalence ng sincerity niya. Gaano kalaki yung risk na pinapasok ng isang tao sa isang bagay na pinaninindigan niya. Kasi kung gaano kalaki yung risk na susuungin niya, ibig sabihin, ganun siya ka-sincere doon sa stand na yun.
Tama. Sorry, go Attorney Trixie.
Another information that you might want to consider. Inday Sara does not do anything na last minute. Hindi siya, she tries to control her impulsiveness. Alam niya may tendency siya to be impulsive, lalong-lalo na minsan pag nagsasalita. Parang PRD yan na namamana yan eh. Pero, when she undertakes something, at alam niyang padating, she plans. So, yung mga including support structures. So, what I'm seeing here now is VP Inday doing her own empire building in preparation for 2028. She needs certain people. Hindi pwedeng yung papasok ka sa laban, wala ka namang bala. So, the Villars are bala providers. One of them. I'm not saying they're the only ones. Now, the issue of Prime Water is a sore point. But here's the thing. If they become part of Inday Sara's administration, she gets to control them. Iba na ang usapan yan. Pag presidente na siya. And everybody else will be subject to her mandate, including Prime Water. So, in other words, it's a honey trap. Uy, tulungan mo naman ako. So, tutulungan siya because they all are interested in her becoming president. Once she becomes president, she has the power to make that decision. Will she firm up the support for water? Hihigpitan ba ang regulatory dito? What are we going to do about this? At presidente na siya. So, in other words, that's not an equal power structure. She's on top. She gets to say. Diba? Whatever na gustuhin nila, wala naman silang choice kung di sumunod eh. Even kunwari, maintaining public office, if you are president, you're president like VP Inday with a mass base like what we have now, what she has now, I think that she'll be able to pretty much dictate the same way her father did. So may lamang lang si PRD talaga ng konti kasi nga, he knew exactly from day one that he was up against the ingrained people. So para sa akin, she's planning for that, beyond that. Ngayon, kailangan mo yung tao eh. This is politics. You negotiate. Right now, siya nga yung mas dehado kasi may nasa posisyon yung mga kinakausap niya. Pero she asked them na tumaya sa kanya. Remember, hindi rin naman, isa sa possibly na pinag-usapan nila, hindi naman umalis si Camille sa alyansa eh. Hindi ni-require.
Kaya lang ko tinatanong, umalis na ba si Camille sa alyansa?
Hindi ni-require ni Inday for her endorsement. Think about that. This was something she could have asked for, hindi niya hiningi.
Pero hindi niya hiningi.
So,
that is correct. I'd like to add on the points of Joey earlier when she talked about sincerity. Kasi, okay, let's balik muna tayo, flashback muna tayo. In the previous elections, Tingog party list is actually a nobody. They are not known. They are unpopular. Like, just like the other party list groups ngayon na tumatakbo, unknown talaga sila. Who made them known? VP Sara. This is precisely because they thought Martin Romualdez is sincere in terms of his support and his trust with the Dutertes. Only to find out that when he is in power now, he turns his back to the very people who helped him out win, who helped the Tingog party list win. So yan yung point ko na sa politics talaga, yung question about sincerity is parang nasa ano lang siya, parang minute tiny aspect of the entire conversation. Secondly, the Marino party list. Sunod-sunuran before grabe. Kung maka-aslik sa mga Duterte tayo, ganyan-ganyan. Di ba?
Ano, ako Bicol kaya?
Oh, yeah, yan din sila.
Oo.
So yan yung mga ginagawa nila lahat. So
OFW party list.
Oo, yan. Oh, yeah, yes, tama. Because nakikiride sila because the father, PRRD, really took serious the welfare of the OFWs. So grabe, nakikiride sila, ganito, si Tatay Digong, ganito. Tapos nag-sign sa impeachment ni VP Sara.
Oo.
Ito yung point ko, na sa political conversation, yung sincerity is parang least consideration yan. Dapat nasa strat tayo, nasa alliances, and sino yung makaka-help sa atin get the highest position or secure the best political positions for us to advance our advocacies or the things that we want to do in the Philippines. So kaya nga, yan yung nakikita natin ngayon. So, mahirap tama yung kanina na VP is really in the line of fire. Hindi lang isang congressman ang uma-attack sa kanya. Halos lahat ng congress. Imagine there are 200 plus congressmen against one vice president, a woman, a duly elected vice president of the 32 million Filipino people. Walang
Tapos
nag-file ng
tatay.
ano daw?
They took out PRD pa. Kumbaga,
Yes.
yung support structure ni VP Inday has suffered a major blow kasi nasa Hague si PRD.
Tama. So, ito dapat yung naintindihan ng mga readers natin, o yung mga followers natin, or yung mga people who have always been supportive of the Dutertes. Kasi nga, tayo dito, for example, Joey has a different take on that matter. Attorney Trixie also has a different viewpoint on that case. Ako din, iba din, because hindi kami nag-uusap on a daily basis. Hindi, wala talaga kami conversation. Kanya-kanya kami ng mga analysis. Kaya kung makikita niyo kayo ngayon, there are only parang small chunks of public viewpoints, public opinion na magkasundo kaming lahat. Pero when it comes to the other aspects, iba-iba kami ng pananaw. One prime example is during the HOR hearing ng yung mga sa fake news, di ba? Joey has a different take na yung about sa speech, yung mga may mga control and everything. In front of Joey's face, Attorney Trixie said, I disagree with Miss Joey. Kasi nga, we are not conversing. Iba-iba kami ng analysis. So yung mga nag-float ng idea na mga double agents kami, mga bayaran kami ng ganyan, I think it's time for you to step up the game or to level up the conversations. Make it level-headed. Di ba? Make it something na substantial. Hindi yung just because we talk about these people, automatically we are double agent. Pwede, ako siguro triple agent na siguro ako. Kasi nga, di ba, after PRRD, endorsed Ariel Kerubin, I think ako siguro ang isa sa may following na umatake na I support the Dutertes but I cannot support Kerubin. Tapos ganyan yung mga reasons ko. Di ba? So, ang iba din may nagsasabi na we should trust Tatay Digong now because siya na nga ang nag-endorse kay Kerubin. Sa akin, I cannot trust Kerubin. I trust Tatay Digong but I cannot trust Kerubin. Especially knowing na he is also endorsed by Isang Bayan. An Isang Bayan coalition, if you look at the entire structure of that coalition, it is convened by Attorney Howard Calleja. And it is being led by Justice Carpio. And tapos itong dalawang tao na to, sila yung first na nag-file ng petition in the Supreme Court about VP Sara's confidential funds. No, Kerubin is there talking to them. Nakipag-alay siya sa mga taong yan. So sabi ko, where does your loyalty lie? Di ba? Is it because you had previous conversations with PRRD or now that VP Sara is under attack?
So sa akin kasi, natatawa lang ako. That's why sometimes kailangan talagang ilalabas natin. I want us to examine yung mga sinasabi ng iba. Halimbawa, I don't trust Aimee. Okay lang, sa akin, of course. Nobody's asking you to trust them. Bakit? Bibigay ba natin yung mga anak natin para erase ni Aimee? Hindi naman. Wouldn't trust her with my dog. But I do trust Inday. I trust her. I want her to become the president. And when we make her president, we will also have to trust her decisions. Kasi pag nilagay natin dyan, with the full knowledge na pag nilagay natin dyan, she will be allied with certain people. Kung ngayon pa lang, hindi natin kakayanin yung empire building na ginagawa ni, not empire, she's building the infrastructure for her presidential bid in 2028. So, that will entail a lot of sleeping with the enemy or type scenarios she will be talking to people we don't like. But she's going to be using those people against the enemy. And para sa akin, kung siya yung general natin, sige, let's say that PRD is our leader, KLPRD. Tapos si VP Inday is his general. Yan yung pagkakatiwala, tayo sundalo. Pag sinabi ni Inday, dito tayo pupunta ako doon. Saka na ako magtatanong. Pero, dahil naman talaga, but elections is not a matter of a command vote, titingnan ko, ano yung logic ng mga decision niya. Why Camille? Why Amy? Why not all of these people? Why did she not say na, sige, I withdraw my nomination, sina lang sa tatay ko? Why didn't she, hindi din niya dinidiscuss yung mga +2 ng tatay niya? Walang ganon. Nothing. Parang, sige, this is just another one of those things. It's just another hill to climb. Okay, but when Inday climbs those hills, I will be there with her. Because, ang tingin ko, siya na lang talaga yung may kayang gawin what we want, the changes that again. Siya na lang ang may kaya. She's the only one with the support, only one with the base, only one with the, with the pedigree, kumbaga, if you believe in that, to be able to do this. So,
add ko lang din, attorney, because you're talking about VP Inday building the infrastructures of her presidential candidacy in 2028 if she really wants to run in 2028. Ganito yung point ko. After she endorsed Amy Marcos, tumaas ang survey, ang rank ng survey ni Amy Marcos. Now, if you look at the recent survey publicized by SWS, mas dumami ang vote na nakuha ngayon ni Amy Villar sa Mindanao. So, yan yung point ko. Yeah, since we're talking about infrastructure building for her presidency, yan yung point ko that the political base of VP Sara is still really, really intact. And that is something that they are trying to destroy because with that political base, it would be hard for them to really shoo away VP Sara in the 2028 presidential elections. Tapos ngayon, di ba sa previous surveys, hindi natin nakikita si Camille nasa 17, 18. Ngayon, always pasok si Camille sa top 12 and that's after VP Sara's endorsements. Nagpa-matter ba ang endorsement ni VP Sara? It really matters.
It really Actually, ako, si Sen Aimee, hindi naman siya talaga part nung ko eh. Kasi hindi naman in-announce na in-endorse si Sen Aimee ng si Sen Aimee I think she's really articulate, matalino, talagang worthy naman talaga si Senator Aimee na maging senador. Pero when I was calling for, early on, when I was calling for the Dutertista vote, firm ako dun sa stand ko na if hindi siya endorse ni Inday Sara or ni PRRD, kung hindi siya makakuha ng Duterte endorsement, I'm so sorry. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, baka nakikita nung mga na she's not a worthy partner dun sa cause nila ng mga Duterte moving forward. So, may call to action din na Dutertista vote, yung consolidation ng Duterte support base, is really to vote kung sino yung susuportahan. Botohin kung sino yung susuportahan. And then, we got the endorsement. Later, meron namang mga endorsement. I mean, ang sa akin kasi, I find it unreasonable yung mga tao na, ay hindi, suportado namin si Inday pero hindi namin suportado yung choices niya. Ganun. Parang, hindi po kasi hindi siya pang isang breath. Ganun.
Correct.
Parang hindi siya pwedeng magsama sa, ay hindi, kasama na, suportado namin si Inday pero I'm so sorry Inday, hindi namin iboboto yung mga in-endorse mo. You know, dalawa lang yung in-endorse ni Inday kasi yung initially, yung Duterte is really from the father. And si Inday, kapag ini-endorse din niya yung Duterte, sinasabi niya, ito ang bilin ng tatay ko. Diba? So kumbaga, parang ang klarong choice dito ni Inday is yung dalawa, yung +2. So kaya nga sabi ko, nung nag-endorse si Inday, which I thought she will not do. Akala ko hindi siya mag-endorse eh. Kasi sinabi niya nung una, hindi siya mag-endorse and then she reconsidered. Dahil nga siya, nakidnap na yung tatay niya, ang dami-dami nang nangyari, ganyan-ganyan. So, sa akin, yun nga Inday is not gonna be perfect. She's not gonna be perfect. But like what Attorney Trixie and Tio were saying, na tutulungan ko siyang i-build yung empire niya. And I am going to accumulate wisdom and I'm going to grow with Inday Sara dito sa journey na to. I'm gonna stand by her. Ganon. Of course, may mga decision na parang, bakit kaya ganon? I would want to understand more. Pero, mas importante sa akin yung desire na to really survive this so that we can do what we have to do.
Correct. If-float ko lang din na ang idea na to, Attorney Trixie, Ms. Joey, na when VP Inday Sara became the mayor of Davao, pinalitan niya halos ng mga tauhan ni Tatay Digong. That signifies she has her own way, completely different from the ways of her father. Yan lang.
Ang saya, di ba? Well, we're lucky to get a close-up view of this one. The other thing that needs to be discussed also, is in the yung endorsement ng dalawa ni PRD. So parang kami ni Joey niyan both for Sir Greg at saka si Colonel Ariel Kerubin. I think that with one of two things yan, may theories yan eh. The first theory is that since PRD is in detention, he would not know, he might not know pala, the dynamics. Nasa na ba sa positioning si Sir Ariel? Nasa na ba sa positioning si Sir Greg? Nasa, di ba? And how does it play into it? Will his endorsement count? Because even when PRD was president, yung endorsement niya sa ibang mga kandidato niya, hindi swak. Hindi siya naka 90% na dun sa mga inendorso niyang mga tao. Pero naka-0 talaga dun sa, yun, naka-8 inidoro talaga. Yun yung ano. So kumbaga, in the negative, nag-work si PRD. In the positive, in the support, parang hindi. Hindi siya 100%. 100% or 90%. Ang plus 10 approval natin kay PRD, but not always on his choices. Yan ang napansin namin even before pa. Even nung kunwari, when he was during the run-up to the presidential elections of 2022, yung mga pinopropose na ng mga pangalan, medyo mababaw yung bangko ni PRD at the time, SBG, si Senator Bato, hindi nag-resonate sa mga tao. So he was forced to withdraw those names and eventually agree na lang by supporting, he eventually supported Inday. It's not true na hindi niya sinuportahan si Inday. Sinuportahan niya yung vice presidential bid ni Inday. He did not necessarily support her running mate. Ibang usapan yon. So, pero what does ano yung significance ng pag-endorso ni Presidente Duterte dito sa dalawa? Your thoughts? Ano meron?
It's a message rather than, ako personally, clear ako. I will go wherever Inday goes. So, yung endorsement ni PRRD na additional to kay former Senator Gringo Honasan at saka kay retired General Kerubin. Yung endorsement niya doon, Colonel Kerubin. Sorry. Ano ang tawag dito? I think it's more of a message rather than, kasi meron akong ano doon, meron akong parang mga gustong important yung reiteration. Di ba nung sinabi, I don't know if Pulong is reiterating na yun yung merong plus to si PRRD. Was there any reiteration? Parang wala na, no? Wala na. So parang yung una.
Lang siya.
Oo. Ang may reiteration kasi sa kanilang dalawa, si Honasan, kasi si Honasan, choice yun ni Pulong even before siya pumunta ng Hague. Tsaka ni Baste, si Gringo Honasan. Pagkatapos, sa side ni Inday, hindi pa naman niya nire-revoke yung endorsement niya kay Camille, pero wala rin siyang reiteration kay Camille. Si Inday, bonggang-bongga na reiteration niya kay Aimee. Bonggang-bongga na reiteration ni Inday kay Aimee. I mean, every time she has an opportunity, she would always say, no, I trust Aimee. Si Inday na yung nagsasabi. Kaya hindi ko maintindihan itong mga to na parang, bakit double agent sa amin? Hindi yung maging fact resistant dito. Diba?
They are floating that argument because they have nothing else to say. So the only thing that they can think of is to really parang attack our credibility that we are all double agents here because they cannot analyze something, they cannot rationalize things the way we rationalize it. So yan yung point.
Tiyo, ano daw yung message? Ayun nga, ang tingin ko, ang message doon, the two of them are both they are both soldiers. They are, I think, parang...
Former coup-platters.
Former coup-platters, ganyan.
I mean, I don't mean that.
Sumulat na ako niyan. I was trying to decode all the messages that I'm getting from the endorsement of VP and PRRD. And yan yung first na analysis ko na. Yeah, if we look at the background of these two people, they have actively participated in the previous coup attempts sa mga former presidents natin. So it's telling something. It's a message that we should it's a message that we should all parang think about. Pero ang sa akin din naman is I'm from the academy. I'm a teacher by profession, and I really believe in the science of statistics if used fairly. Science of surveys pala, if used fairly. Now, if you base it on the recent surveys, practically and realistically speaking, not all members of the Duterte or the PDP Laban slate will win the 2025 midterm elections.
Okay.
Now, VP Sara endorsed 2 and FPRRD endorsed 2. Now, if by God's grace, if these 4 people will win, they will be a very good addition to the people or the members of PDP Laban slate who are going to win the 2025 midterm elections. So it's more on the number game because if titingnan din natin, there are 2 from the opposite, the fake opposition ang ano talaga, ang ginagawa yung lahat ng kaplastikan nila just to be part of the Magic 12. So nakikita naman natin ngayon yung mga efforts ni Kiko Pangilinan na, oh, look, the dagat. Wow, dagat. O, di ba? Yung mga ganyan mga galawan na very haduken, yung mga galawang pambobo, yan yung mga nakikita natin ngayon para lang pag-usapan sila at pumasok sa top 12. Now, after PRRD's endorsement kay Kerubin and kay Hunasan, sino yung pinag-uusapan ng taong bayan? These two people. So if pinag-uusapan ito, they are more visible now sa social media and even outside social media, there is a big possibility that they will win. Parang ganyan. So yan yung nakikita ko sa endorsement ni Tatay Digong. Aside from the message that we are getting from that.
Speaking of science, yung science of survey, ako nga, ang sinasabi ko ay, I'm always coming from consolidation, making our voice the formidable voice in this democracy, and we have to aim for high impact vote. Yun talaga, hindi natin afford ngayon yung parang, ay, boboto ko to kasi magaling to, matalino to, pero nasa pinakatulo siya ng survey. Kasi sa totoo lang, walang impact yung boto mo. Whether you like it or not, we are very, very late in the game. 2 weeks na lang mag-e-election na. So, I'm so sorry, pero yung mga pinipitch sa akin ng mga kandidato na ito maganda to kasi ganito yung yeah, I agree and I think that person is really good, but it's not just winnable. It's not just winnable. So, we also have to think about, sabi ko nga, we have to be really, really cold-blooded. We really have to be, what we have to prioritize is high impact voting. Hindi yung emotions niyo yung bida. I'm so sorry to break this to all of you. Pero hindi yung emotions niyo ang bida. Hindi yung emotions niyo ang bida. Tawag dito, kilala niyo naman ako eh. Ano talaga, kay gulpe de sustansya talaga ako eh. Diretso ako. I mean, I am saying this because I want you to realize as early as possible that what we are doing right now is high impact voting. Kung ano yung voting behavior na pwede natin gawin para yun yung pinakamalaki ang impact for this election, let's do it.
Bago tayo magpatuloy, acknowledge ko lang ha, nanonood kanina si Miss MJ Kiambao at saka dito si Miss Cathy Binag. Hi.
Hi, Ate Cathy. Hello.
27. So,
Attorney Trix, address ko lang to. Winnable nga, traidor naman. Sino yung traidor? Just for red. Okay, last na reaction ko to sa mga ganitong Winnable nga, traidor naman. Sino yung traidor na nire-refer natin dyan? I assume you are referring to Amy Marcos. Yung ba? Yung ba traidor? Ayan, winnable nga, traidor naman. Okay. Can you please tell us, ito yung sinasabi ko ha, kapag ginampak natin yung mga ganitong statement, winnable nga pero binudol naman tayo. Winnable nga pero saan ano exactly yung basihan ng budol? Ano exactly yung basihan ng traidoran? Kasi
so waiting to Mr. Jasper.
I am 90% this is based on conjecture and speculation.
Kung may traidor man si Martin.
So, diba? Saan kaya yung baka naman traidor to the Marcos family. Kasi maka-Duterte siya.
Correct. Tapos,
yun lang ang sinusuportahan.
Additional input lang kay Amy. Kasi I was studying her ba, tapos yung kay Lisa na mga post, hindi ko talaga nakikita si Amy sa mga post ni Lisa na yung Sunday with the family, wala talaga si Amy. Zero. No attendance at all. So, yun ang sinasabi ko. So, baka nga, tama si Attorney Trixie na ang trinatridor talaga ay ang Marcos family dahil pro Duterte siya.
Alam niyo ba yun? 2022 pa lang, hindi siya pinapapasok sa Malacanang.
I heard about
personal knowledge. Ako yan.
Nagwala yan si Sen Amy. Kasi yung December na, yung Christmas kasi may pagka-slave driver daw yun si Sen Amy. Sorry, Sen Amy ginangarag niya yung staff niya ng, December 2022. Ginangarag niya ng bonggang-bongga yung mga staff niya. Kasi, tinrabaho daw ng mga lawyer staff niya yung release ng mga yung mga nakakulong na 75 years old pataas. So ngayon, di syempre, inayos nila yung papel, ganyan. Halos hindi raw nag-Christmas break yung mga, this was parang, ito yung mga, mga kwento ng mga tutubing kanila.
Alala ko na. Oo.
Ngayon, syempre, parang si Bakla, parang ang feeling niya, parang, ito ang regalo ko, may susyon, ganyan. Ito ang regalo ko sa mga PDLs, ganyan, na makaka-release. So parang, hoping na before ng New Year, December 31, kasi di ba usually December 31 Attorney Trix nire-release yung mga paglaya-laya ng mga ganyan. Supposedly ganon. Hindi natuloy. kasi hindi napirmahan yung mga release order. Tapos,
Ni?
parang sabi, Valentine's daw.
Ni?
Ni BBM, ng kapatid. Oo.
Okay.
Nung kapatid, hindi raw na-release, ganyan. Pagkatapos parang naging February siya, parang gawin natin sa Valentine's Day, ganyan. Pagkatapos dumating ang February, hindi pa rin napirmahan. Pagkatapos, I think parang March na ang ginawa nito nila, di ba ex-senadora rin si Sen Aimee, yung gusto niya may mga coverage din na. Parang meron pang kumbaga parang meron pang mga hinire daw na mga tao na i-document yung pag-meet ng mga people in detention, yung mga person in yung mga taong nakakulong, tapos mamimit nila yung family nila, kalalayan na kasi majonda na nga eh. So mamimit sila ganyan. So meron pang supposedly magko-cover na gano'n. Dumating yung March. So yung March, parang ang feeling ng opisina ni Sen Aimee, lalabas na yung mga nakakulong. Yung okay na yung release order. Kasi parang ilang buwan na nag-delay eh. January, February, March, ilang buwan na. So parang by this time, wala na excuse. Dapat na yan, napirmahan na yan. All they need to do is to sign. Kasi nga, kumbaga parang yung legwork na prepare na eh. So vetting na lang ng documents. Ganyan. Hala, pagdating ng araw, parang 7 lang yata yung napirmahan. I think parang close to 100. I forgot, diba? Marami yun eh. Parang hundreds supposedly yun eh. Yung dapat makakalaya na yun. Ang chismis sa kaparangan ay ayaw papirmahan ni Ma'am Shi. Tapos, syempre, parang ang gusto ni Ma'am Shi, mapahiya si Aimee dun sa lakad niya. Ganon. In which, napahiya talaga si Aimee. Napahiya talaga siya doon. Bilugin mo, full media coverage. Meron siya interview niya, umiyak siya.
Nag-iyakan yung mga detainees. Kasi yung mga preso, kasi naka-impake na, naka-makeup na, naka-hairdo na, palalabasin na lang sila. So, ang sakit na, ang difference kasi, normally yan, kasi the Supreme Court has taken cognizance na mayroon pa rin, at hello DOJ, kamusta kayo dyan? May mga detainees or yung mga preso na convicted na-serve na nila yung sentensya nila. Or mga detainees na-serve na nila. Hindi pa tapos yung
for them to
in-detain yata. So, ginawa ng Supreme Court, order na sila na automatic kasi may problema talaga ang corrections na sasabihin nila hindi pa napoprocess yung papel nyo. Pero even one day beyond your sentence is an injustice. So inayos ng Supreme Court yun para hindi na yan nangyayari. Ang problema yung dito sa mga 75 and older. May Supreme Court decision that says pwede na silang i-release pagka preso ka na pero you're at 75 or older, lalong-lalo na yung mga may health issues and so on. So, but that requires the signature of the president. So isipin niyo, pwede na silang palabasin, hindi sila pinalabas dahil sa politika. So that's another thing we have to remember about this administration. Okay lang masaktan kayo kasi namumulitika kami. And put in the middle of that, si Sen Aimee, malas niya. Sorry, pero minalas na.
Kanya siya doon, tapos yun nga, nire-report na ganyan. Tapos nagalit siya doon yung may video talaga. May video yun, yung naiiyak siya sa galit kay sino nga yung yung pumalit kay Bantag na
I forgot his name. Totoo yan. Kasi walang masabi sa kanya.
Oo, tapos yung makita mo talaga yung doon ni Sen Aimee. Yung umiiyak siya sa galit. Kasi napahiya talaga siya ng bonggang-bongga doon. Biruin mo talagang ready pagkatapos nandun na yung mga kamag-anak nagpuntahan na pagkatapos wala pa lang makakalabas. Parang ilang piraso lang yung nakalabas ilang lang yung napirmahan
Pwede ko bang sagutin muna ito? Sabi ni Lulu, tahimik ang Supreme Court sa lahat ng nangyayari ngayon. Tuloy makapag-isip ka rin pinaglilingkuran na ba nila ay politiko. Excuse me po, hindi po talaga nagsasalita ang Korte Suprema. Nagsasalita lang sila through their decisions. Hindi bawal ang epal ng Supreme Court, bawal mag-statement, bawal po lahat yon. Kasi pag the moment mag-statement sila, ibig sabihin hindi na sila objective. Kung pwede realistic lang dapat tayo, hindi player sa politika ang Supreme Court, at least not openly. Hindi natin sinasabi na yung mga dating Supreme Court ay walang politika. Ang masasabi ko, this one, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Kaya mas maigi nga, buti nga, hindi sila nagsasalita. Kasi baka mamaya niyan magsalita for the government Yari tayo.
That's even more dangerous.
Yeah, because this is their mandate. Their mandate is to answer only through their decisions. That is the only time they speak. Kahit nga nag-speech ang mga justice sa kung saan. They will not talk about political issues, at least not that way. Hindi sila mai-involve sa kahit anong politika na issue. Imagine nyo, ma'am, kung nagsalita ang mga justice bago final yung by scam case, paano na natin sila pagkakatiwalaan? Paano na yung ebidensya? Paano na yung, will they be able to objectively handle these cases kung meron na silang sides? So wag niyo nang isipin po yung ganyan. Hindi talaga nagsasalita ang Korte Suprema. Mag-expect tayo ng salita, ng political talk from both the executive and from the legislature, but never from the Supreme Court.
Mm. Ayan.
Katapang.
Oo, si
nila.
General Katapang. Oo. Ayun. Anyway, Attorney Trix, yung tawag dito, di ba pag-uusapan natin yung mga hindi dapat iboto? Kasi nga, high impact voting tayo dapat eh. So, sa totoo lang, isa dapat sa mga mission natin, aside from promoting the Duterte 10 plus 2 plus 2, okay? Aside from doing that, we also have to make sure that people are not going to vote doon sa mga lumalabas sa survey. Like, yan, Tito Soto na ibibigay daw ang sweldo. Ibibigay sila Manny Pacquiao, Tulfo Brothers, Binay na
We also have to say why. Yeah.
oo, si Abby Binay na sinasanitize ng bonggang-bongga yung 20 pesos na per kilo kuno na 20 pesos na subsidized rate ng bigas na iro-roll out sa Cebu. Ay maganda isa-isahin natin sila attorney na ano yung mga reason kung bakit hindi dapat iboto yung mga yan.
Ako, Tito Soto. Let's start with Tito Soto.